Sheep and Goats, Part 7. Hello. You all are good? Good. Awesome. Are you ready to learn in Matthew chapter 7, verse 21 to 23? All right. Remember last week I dropped a question, right? The question was, you think Jesus is full of grace and kindness, would welcome everyone to heaven? Let's look at Matthew chapter 7, verse 21 to 23. Okay? New King James Version. Not everyone who say to me, quote, Lord, Lord, shall enter the kingdom of heaven, but he who does the will of my Father in heaven. Verse 22. Many will say to me in that day, quote, Lord, Lord, have we not prophesied in your name, cast out demons in your name, and done many wonderful wonders in your name? Verse 23. And then I will declare to them, quote, I never knew you. Depart from me. You who practice lawlessness. Now, let's read it again in Amplified Version. I like this one. It's a little different, but the meaning is the same. Okay. Not everyone who say to me, Lord, Lord, will enter the kingdom of heaven, but only he who does the will of my Father who is in heaven. Verse 22, many will say to me on that day, when I judge them, quote, Lord, Lord, have we not prophesied your name and driven out demons in your name and done many miracles in your name? Verse 23, and then I will declare to them publicly, I never knew you. Depart from me. You are banished from my presence. You who act wickedly, disregarding my commands. Okay, now, first of all, I want you all to know that Jesus Christ is himself fair and just. Yes. And yes, Jesus, still full of grace, yes, still today, offering his salvation to anyone who will believe in him. I want to emphasize this. Okay? Agreed? Cool. Okay. Now, it's very interesting. You see different words in King James Version translation that I want you all to see. Notice this phrase here, quote, and then will I profess unto them, quote, the word profess here means declare. That's King James Version. Profess. Profess. Okay? Are you with me so far about this word profess? Good. Okay. Let's look at verse 21 here. Jesus says, "Not everyone who say to me, Lord, Lord, will enter the kingdom of heaven." Let's look at the Greek word for enter. The Greek word for enter is isokome. The Greek definition, number one, to go out or come into, to come in, to enter. A people or animal, welcoming people or animals as entering a house or city, a city. In other words, God will welcome the believers, the sheep, to let them enter into his home or heavenly where God dwells. But to the unbelievers, the goats, they cannot enter the kingdom of heaven. They cannot. Now, it's because Jesus has said that not everyone who say to me, Lord, Lord, will enter the kingdom of heaven. Not everyone. Okay? It's sad. It's true that not everyone will enter heaven. Now, the people who believes in universal will say that the different false religion will say that all people can enter heaven. That's a big lie. No, it's not true at all. No. How do I know? Let's look at John chapter 14, verse 6. Okay? New King James Version. Jesus said to him, I am the way, the truth, and the life. No one comes to the Father except through me. That's Jesus. Okay, I want to emphasize this important to understand the word the, T-A-C, here. The word the is the definite article. That means that Jesus is the way, the truth, and the light. That Jesus is the only way, the only truth, and the only light. Not Jesus is a way. I mean, there's another way than this. No. 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 Okay? No one comes to the Father except through me, not Jesus. No one can bypass, omit Jesus and go straight and see the Father. No. Are you with me so far? Good. Cool. Okay. In the Amplified Version, let's look at the last sentence in the verse 23. I never knew you. You depart from me. And the big bracket. You are banished from my present. The word banish here, let's look at the dictionary for banish. Okay? To expel from or relegate to a country or a place by authority, decree, condemned to exile. That's banish. Banish. Ouch. The Greek word for away is apoxorio. The Greek definition, number one, is very short. To go away. Depart. Are you with me so far about this? Great. Let's look at the dictionary for the word disregarding. That means disobey, brush aside, snub, brush away, or brush off, or brush off. Pay no listening to them, nothing. Turn deaf ear to, turn a deaf ear to. Don't want to hear it. Despise. Wow. This is not good definition. It's sadly, this is for the goats. That's the goats. Okay, let's look at verse 22 with me. This verse says, many will say to me on that day when I judge them, quote, Lord, Lord, have we not prophesied in your name and driven out demons in your name and done many miracles in your name? Now that, notice what Jesus says here. Quote, many will say to me on that day when I judge them. That phrase. What does that tell you? On that day when I judge them, quote, it tells us that it will happen on what? The judgment day. Yeah, the great white throne. That's what it's talking about. After the 7 years tribulation. And after the 1,000 years reign. After this, the judgment day. The final judgment for those. Okay? That's when. When it will happen, that's when it will. Okay? Are you with me so far about this? Awesome. Okay, I'm going to stop right here now. And I will continue this on part 8. So stay tuned. Have a great day. See you next time. Bye.